Hey y'all, here we are back out in the garage. This is the RVXX, the one we burned up the rod bearing at MIS 2018. Johnny West has been so kind to mount our new parts on it that we got from Mondo Kart. It's got the Mondo rod, knife edge, nice rod, bearing, whole package on there. If you look at the Facebook page, the Rex King Facebook page, you see the video of John showing you how true the crank was. So we got out here last night and cleaned it all up real good, made sure all the orifice, everything was good and clean, and then got her all put together. I didn't bring you putting this is the old main bearing, putting the bearings in the cases, or putting the races back on the crank. Remember where we had some trouble at first before we got that puller, getting those races off. So I'm going to run you through that on the RVS crank. It's a spare and it's still burned up, so no big deal. But we used a little map, heated up the inside of the case, not hot, just enough to warm it up. The bearings were in the freezer in the house, and one of them literally dropped right in without ever touching it, and the other one just needed a little tap with the brass hammer. Tapped it, and it fell right in. So we're good to go there. Let me bring you over and show you what we did about getting these bearing races back on the crank. And here's the RVS crank. It's very similar, not exactly the same, but we got it in the wooden blocks, right, that we had before when we were trying to get with the puller on there, trying to get the races off. Got her clamped down. We put some rags here yesterday because we're going to have to drive that sucker home. What I got is a piece of chrome moly tubing that is the proper outside dimension. I'm going to sit you down. Proper outside dimension to match this bearing race, right? And it's a little bit bigger than the journal itself, so we won't scar anything up. So what we did is we took the beveled edge of the shim, put it on first. It slides right on, so we're able to get that puller underneath it, right? And then one side of the race itself has got a little bevel. The other side's flat. The good flat side goes toward that shim. And then all we did is we took the chrome moly tube and went ahead and drove it home, right, and banged it right down. Took no effort really at all. I mean, it was about as easy as the puller taking it off. So we left the crank literally out in the garage here where it was, 30, actually it was outside, it was in the teens overnight. It was probably in the 20s, Fahrenheit inside the garage. So, and then we just had the new ones in the house, room temperature. I didn't warm them up or anything, just set them on and drove them right on. So no big deal. That crank got everything it needed. Lubed everything up real good. All the gearbox bearings, as you can see, we got oil here, so all the gearbox bearings, lubed all that up, pre-lubed all the bearings. John's got some good lube on our rod bearings, so we didn't have to do anything there. Lubed up the journals real well, and we use 3-bond, or what is the equivalent of Yama bond. And another quick tip, we put you right down on top of the coffee here, folks. This stuff is like snot, right? It gets real gooey and it's hard to get on. You get too much on, it oozes into the motor. Use a popsicle stick. You just take a little bit right off the top and you can put it on and spread it on, and you can really control how much of it goes on. And it doesn't matter if it starts to get like a skin to it, or the outside of it starts to set up a little bit before you're done. Obviously you can see where it didn't spooge out too much. I got just the right amount in there. I've done this a few times, and I love that Yamabond stuff. It's a little harder to clean up than this high temp silicone stuff that the factory uses. And I used to use this stuff too, this Permatex stuff, but it's silicone, and it's silly in my mind. So we're going to get the rest of this bad boy put together today, and we'll take measurements on the squish, and when we get the squish right, then we'll do the head volume, we'll pressure check, and then we'll go ahead and take it and put it in the house, where it'll stay nice and warm and close to me until we get a cart to put it on. Which shouldn't, with my track record, it shouldn't take too long to need the primary engine again. So that's it for now. Talk to y'all in a bit.